to fuck Beyonce and Rihanna. We'll see which one of those things happen first.
Back at it, post UFC 287. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Keyboard Warriors on cageside.com. My name is Eddie Law. That's Fred Kirby with you on a Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. Happy Easter to and everyone that celebrates. At the very least, hope you took advantage of some of those brunches, man. They go all out for some of these brunches. You know, it's funny. I've been to an Easter brunch and walked out drunk as shit. I never had mimosas at that point. I haven't since, by the way. But I was dating this one girl from college. She was like, "We should go have mimosas." I'm like, "I'll try a couple." Oh man, I was like 7 or 8 in, and I was just like, "Easter's awesome." So if y'all went out there and did that shit, all good, no judgment from me. But 287, man, a lot of really good fights on that one. We won't, we're not going to break down the card. We don't do that on the show, but we do talk about the big players on that one. And the first one I want to talk about here because it was actually, you know what? I want to talk about this first. So Sam Hughes won the very first fight of the night. I forgot all about this till right now. Sam Hughes won the very first fight of the night, and then went ahead onto on her post-fight media scrum and said that her boyfriend bet $1,000 on her, and that she wants all the winnings from that. Okay. She said it on camera. It's out there. Everyone saw it. You're not supposed to. Your family and friends cannot bet on fights if you're a UFC fighter.
Ooh, that's no bueno for her.
She told on herself so hard. I wish I could like play the video on here, but we weren't there for that one. I'm not going to drag someone's video off of that. So, but she did go out and say that her boyfriend bet $1,000 on her. So, is that one of the bigger tell on yourself moments in UFC as far as the UFC goes that we've seen?
Well, listen, considering the fucking massive hoopla that just happened with fucking what's his fucking
Kansas City guy.
Yeah, we all know the fuck I'm talking
James
about.
Krause.
James Krause, yeah. With all the shit that just went down with him and fucking gambling and all this shit, you got to have some stones on you to do it now. If you did this little stunt about 6 months ago or something, maybe. But after all that shit happened, definitely not a good fucking move, man.
Bro, I saw that clip right away, and I was just like, and the thing is this, everyone that clipped it, a couple pages some of the other pages, one of them clipped it, put it on Twitter with like a bunch of smiles on it, and I'm like, did nobody like, if I'm in the meeting and I sit there and I go, I would have been the first one to be like, it's not like, it's against the rules, right? Like I would have made it awkward as fuck right then and there. No one, I don't think anyone would say shit. I haven't watched it.
At first when you just said that, I was about to be like, I really don't understand what the big deal is. If I'm dating a broad and she's in the UFC, why can't I put money on my baby? Why can't I, bitch, shit, I believe in this bitch. We betting rent on this hoe. Shit, we trying to double up. Fuck that. She trains hard. But it also just dawned on me that shit, I don't motherfucking, son, let me tell you something. All I need is one friend, one bitch, one anything that I know to make it to the UFC and get on that little DraftKings. If you get your name up there and I can bet on you, yeah, I'm not going to bet on you to win, sissy. We're going to bet on you to lose.
Yeah.
Whatever you fighting, whatever the odds are, I'm betting $300,000 that I don't got on that, and you going to take a fucking dive. And nobody's going to care because you're Sam fucking Hughes.
Shit.
Not a bad idea now that I think about it. All you need is one fucking person in the UFC. You say, check this out, Sam Hughes. What are the chances that you actually become a champion in the UFC? What, about 13% to nothing? Probably not. Unless you are fucking some sort of phenom, you're probably not going to be a champion. Why don't we hedge our bets now? And let's say you lose this fight. And let's just say we all fucking bet every fucking thing we got in the bank account. All joking aside, yeah. I do wonder at what point, how do they monitor something like that? Because in the NFL or the NBA, you can't get to somebody. No. In the prelims of the UFC, son, if I stayed out in Vegas, I'd just start fucking some of these ugly hoes. Daddy Fred be at all them bars and shit. Like, yeah, you a little masculine looking, but I'll fuck the dog shit out of you. Then I'll get in your head and be like, say, baby, you got a fight coming up this weekend. Like, shit, you want to make 100,000? Like, worst come to worst, you lose and go to Bellator and we do it again. Like,
yeah.
I wonder, like they say, you can't have your friends or family bet on you. How the fuck do you know? You don't know everybody's cousin, or I mean, you know what I'm saying? All I need is if I'm fucking a bitch and her cousin's in the UFC, we can come up with this little horseshit scam that I'm talking about right now. Like, shit, bitch, if you ain't gonna win fight of the night, my boyfriend's got some money. He gonna bet 100 grand on you. Just lose. You ain't gotta do nothing too crazy. Just build a grappling scenario and let that hoe get your neck. And then we all go into Cancun afterwards.
that'd be some wild shit. I'm not 100%. I'm not even sure that, or I'm not convinced that hasn't happened at least a couple times. In
I never really thought about it until just this very moment. But now that I think about it, like shit, you can fuck around and make a whole ass racket out of just getting prelim fighters on the UFC card take a dive. It ain't like you trying to get John Jones take a dive. He'll tell you to go fuck yourself. But again, Sam Hughes, I'm not trying to shit on you and make you the point of reference here, but since you was the dummy that said it, boy, I'd be motherfucking putting the hog to you like shit. Say, Jack, I bet on you to win. How about we bet everything that you lose, knowing you gonna? Because I'm telling you, we gonna lose.
Shit, well, there you go.
If Sam Alvey should have did that. Sam Alvey should have had that pretty little broad he had in the corner betting all their whatever their house is worth. That's what they should have put on every fight. Sam come out, throw some punches, get thunderstruck the way he does. Down he goes, and they make 200 grand every time.
Better than getting. I mean, you only do it a couple times, you make a bunch of fucking money. You don't have to get some CTE or anything after that.
Fair. Yeah, exactly. Or like I said, if you don't want to get knocked out, just build a grappling exchange. Y'all go down. Oh, you got my neck. Look at that.
Oh,
I bobbed when I should have weaved.
Shit. Real quick again in the comment section here. What's up? Effie says, and you. Much love from Vegas. Happy Easter and all that. Hey, happy Easter, bro. Santiago, how you doing, man? Otis is back. Amanda Rivas with Macy Barber June 24th. Damn.
Hey now. I ain't mad at that.
Okay, is Macy finally? Look, I don't hate Macy Barber whatsoever. I do not care. But the last two fights she won, it was like, did she though? So
we're about to find out. It's what I love about the UFC or about MMA, however you want to cut that cake. We're about to find out. She sort of bought some bullshit. Amanda Ribas is about to put her to it. We're gonna find out whether she deserved the spot that she's getting with this fight or not.
Right. What's up, Lance? Saying, oof, I was talking about the St. Hughes story. Otis says Michelle Pereira versus Stephen Thompson for UFC 289. Damn. Cageside Press will be there, by the way.
I feel like Michelle Pereira is going to get work.
Yeah. I think it's going to get
wrong, but
yeah, we'll be there. I won't, but one of our guys will be there. Jake Noker. Otis says people have to learn to keep their mouth shut. You would have thought she'd have known that, but who knows? Dave says obviously there's people that will take the L, but some others won't lose for nothing. Excuse me. The rule is stupid to me. It's called gambling, for God's sakes. 100%. You're right.
Yep.
All right.
Agreed.
All right. Moving on. The other fight. One of the other fights I want to talk about here. Kelvin Gastelum comes back after this long time away. And last he fought was like 2021. Injuries, fucking failed fights, visa issues for other guys. He finally got in there. Finally won. First question. I know you didn't watch this one, right?
Nope, I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
Yeah, so a lot of people are saying that they thought Chris Curtis won.
Oh, well, shit, I didn't hear that. I heard that Kelvin looked good in the fight.
He looked great.
Kelvin of old.
He looked like Calvin of old, like a couple years off. I can get you there. So he was talking about mentally he's good, physically he's finally good, and all sorts of stuff. So hopefully we're big things from him.
You just said a lot of people were saying that they thought the decision went the other way. Yeah. Don't give a fuck. I'm getting so sick and tired of the crybabies on just. Even if I didn't see this fight, so I really ain't even speaking to this necessarily. Right. It's just every card. There's a fight or two that half the fucking Twitter's a crybaby about. It just gets fucking old, man. I mean, I hate to always fucking quote Dana White on the show, but don't leave it in the hands of the judges. If you let that shit go to the judges, do not be upset if the fight does not go your way. Even as a cocksucking motherfucking fan. If you a fan of somebody who likes to lay and pray, do not be upset if the decision does not go your way. And this fight obviously was not a lay and pray fight. I heard it was a very, very exciting fight of the night, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm just making the point. There are certain situations where it's egregious. And everybody is like, what the fuck was that? That was fucking ridiculous. Those, fair enough. But all these fights where it's close, it's a close fight. If afterwards everybody's like, whew, that was a close one. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck. If it's a close fight, whichever way it breaks, it was close. Shut the fuck up. Like, I fucking cannot stand the people that every time there's a fucking split, shut the fuck up. For being such a tough guy sport, boy, MMA does have a lot of crybaby fucking loser nerd fans.
Well, you know, MMA as a whole in the sport, it's full of hypocrites in many different ways. So that's kind of how that goes.
Crybabies.
All right, moving on. This is important, not because of who won, but because of who lost. Robert versus Jr. gets decisioned, and I thought it was more dominant 29-28 times 3. I thought it should have been 30-27 for Christian, but either way, fair enough. You know what? I take it back. That first round definitely went to Raul. He was a motherfucker.
Listen, how should I say this? Well, I was about to fucking jump out the window and say they should put a goddamn age limit in the UFC, and I don't mean 18, I mean like 2021. I think this was a perfect look, bro. He ain't done growing yet.
Yeah,
that's legit a little boy still, and I'm not even necessarily being demeaning or rude. This cat might get taller. Like, he's not fucking done growing yet. You can't let that boy fight 25, 27, 28-year-old men, man. Like, you can let him fight a fat shit rat like me, but you can't, like, grown men with grown men fucking strength and power that have been training, that got a micron of, you know, unless he is just, you know, a talent unlike we've ever seen. And he seems like a very talented kid, but he just should have been, he needs to be on a local circuit somewhere, racking up bodies, kicking ass, taking names, building a big resume for like another year or two. I mean, and listen, don't take my word for it. Take that performance for it. He didn't look strong enough. He didn't look prepared enough. I think he, you know, I think he's handled the moment well. He just seems excited. He trying to punch and grapple. He ran out there like he was Jorge Masvidal, then fucked around and got himself in a bad situation because of it. Like, he's fucking, and to be fair, again, he's 18.
Yeah.
You know what the fuck I was doing at 18? I was a goddamn functioning retard. At 18, he's a baby, man. Like, you can't judge that little boy. All bullshit aside, I think the best thing for him to do, hop out the UFC right now, jump back down on the local circuit, go smash a few guys for the rest of this year, maybe pop back in next year when you're like 19, 20, when your body's actually done growing. Give yourself a little bit of time. And like I said, don't listen to me. Stay in the UFC and take a couple beatings. You're lucky that this kid didn't beat the dog shit out of you, because there was a couple times where he got on top of him. I'm like, oh shit, he about to light dude up. He didn't get there. But you're in the UFC. It's easy to sort of, poo-poo the UFC or whatever. But you have to keep in mind too, man. Hey man, this is real life blood sport. These are Tom Poes, Jack. Like, this is the big league. You will get fucking hurt if you are not ready to be here. And again, he seems like a talented kid. Obviously, he's destined to be in the UFC. But you get brought here too soon, too early, and it'll fuck your mind up. Like, these are not people who will, barely beat you, or it's going to be a tough match. You get put in the wrong situation, and one of these dudes will fuck your face up for life, homeboy.
I was about to say some fucked up. I was like, how much more fucked up can that face get, bro? But I ain't gonna hate on his game. Do your thing. But the thing, experience is a motherfucker. Y'all don't understand, and not y'all, but people don't understand that experience is a huge deal. There's talent. There's talented people that can push it off, and there's experienced ass people that bust their ass and push it off. And this is two examples. But Ro's gonna be back. He'll be fine. Give him some lower level guys, and build him up that way. But I wouldn't be mad if he, went down to LFA or some shit, smashed with people, got a title, and came back up. We'll see. But people need to stop hyping his.
I think it would be good for his career.
I think it'd be smart.
Take a step back, get some wins, let himself develop a little. You got the talent. The UFC ain't going nowhere.
Right.
There's no sense in throwing yourself. Again, if you were just so fucking uber talented that you could do it, then do it. You tried. All due respect, you ain't. It's funny. It ain't funny, but I don't know if you've seen like the preview show with with that cat, like the preview countdown or whatever, the countdown show.
Yeah.
They had what's his name? Charles. What's his first name? Roas.
Charles who?
Is that his name? What's his first name?
Raul.
Raul.
Yeah, Rosas Jr. Yeah,
Rosas Jr. Raul's his first name.
Yeah.
God damn. All right, shit. Fucking first name as hard as his last name. Raul. God damn. So they had him on the countdown show, and they were showing a little segment where he had taken a picture with his old man, and there was a mirror in the background, and apparently there was a little shadow that looked like Jesus. And they had his mom,
I saw that shit.
They had his mom talking about it, and their
Yeah.
homeboy on his knees at the mosque or whatever the fuck it is. I know I'm fucking all kinds of shit up because I'm not.
I'll explain that in a second. Yeah.
I feel I was making fucking jokes about it because I'm fucked. But that night in the second round, man, like I feel like when Raul was on, he was like fucking mountain or some shit. He's on bottom, and he looked so fucking like sort of confused and helpless. I almost feel like this motherfucker, because like during that countdown, they're like, yeah, we really think that our son's anointed by God and he's blessed, and he goes to the thing, and I think they legit thought that God had blessed this boy. And when they in the ring and they like, say, Jack, he said he did this 10 times. He like, say, God, motherfucker, where are you at? I am getting my ass whooped. This is not working.
Yeah.
You ain't blessed by nobody, homeboy. Jesus is not, all y'all motherfuckers, including you, John Jones. I understand why you would think God's looking out for you because you are incredibly fucking talented.
Seriously, though.
Jesus ain't watching none of you creeps fight on Saturday night. If indeed there is a Jesus or a Moses or a Muhammad or any of those fucking pricks, they are not watching cage fights on Saturday night. And even if they did, they wouldn't be rooting for one of you.
For anybody.
God damn. You think Jesus fuck is like, yeah, no, John, I want you to win and not Cyril. What in the fuck?
Oh, man. Fucking, no, so a couple of things. First of all, yeah, you're right. They thought that the thing on top in the mirror and the picture was Jesus or something like that, or his outline. To me, it looked more like the Virgin Mary, but that's just, we've seen a million.
It did.
That's just me. I'm just, but that thing where you kneel, so, Catholics, and I've actually been to that church, that basilica, whatever you call it.
A Mexicano thing, I'm imagining.
In Mexico City. I was there when I was a little kid, and I remember I went with a bunch of my family, and we all had flowers, and I remember, like, me included, me and my cousins all had to kneel walk or whatever, walk on our knees, I guess that's what you call it, whatever, crawl on our knees or whatever, all the way from the outside to the altar where you put your flowers on. You say a prayer, and then you go sit down for mass. And to this day, I don't know why they do it, but they do it. So, but you do that at least like once. I know I did it one time and never did it again. But when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, I've been there. That's crazy. It's honestly, not gonna lie, that place is pretty fucking dope. It's got like escalators and shit and everything. But outside of that, you're just like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, listen, all jokes aside, he looked a little confused when things wasn't going his way. Mm-hmm. I think it's just a little too much too soon, man. He's a really young kid. He seems to be really talented. I just think it's all too much too soon. Again, man, this is the motherfucking UFC. It needs to be understood that this is not the place where you develop. It's just not. It's just not, man. You need to, even if you're young, once you get that contract, bro, we say it all the time, but real talk, there really ain't this ain't boxing. There aren't no easy fights. There are easy fights, but they're not in the UFC. No. You get your easy fights on your local district or your local circuit, rather, in MMA. Like once you get to the UFC, there are no easy fights, man. Even if you make a fight look easy, it's just because you a bad motherfucker. Like everybody here can fight, Jack. It's like getting to American Idol and you from Idaho and shit, and you sing your little ass off, and you get here, you're like, oh, say, Jack. All these motherfuckers can sing really good too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you was probably a beast on your local circuit, won that little contender series shit, and
you ain't special here.
First fight in the UFC, right? But then you know what I'm saying? No shade to Christian Rodriguez, but it's not like they actually gave you a top 10 guy. They were just like, okay, say, Jack, here, take this guy with an actual good record too, and he fucking low key put a beating on you. What the fuck?
My favorite was, and they say it was right after the fight, and I was actually on live on here on a fight campaign in the entire fucking main card. But I took a break for a second. I just happened to look at Twitter, and Sean Strickland tweeted out, what did it say? It said, Raul Rosa Jr. about to get the Sage Northcutt treatment. This is why you don't sign kids to fight men. And I sat there, I'm like, yeah, okay. I get it.
The most intelligent thing that prick's ever tweeted.
Ever.
That's actually, I fucking think I actually kind of agree with that completely, man.
Right.
I don't know about the whole Sage Northcutt thing, but yeah, you don't sign literal boys that are still growing and put them in fights with grown men, man. It's not, I just don't think it's fair. I don't care how talented the kid is. He's still a kid.
You ain't wrong, man. Let's go through the comments real quick, and then we'll get to the next thing we'll talk about here. I'll talk about the scoring. Yeah, it's like Conor Lawler. I want to hear it. Oh, if it's not like Conor Lawler, I don't want to hear it. Okay.
Right.
Versus Brian matches won't cut it. Stop blaming the judges 100%. Roses were getting handled on the ground. He was getting handled all over the place. Low blow, Eddie, not gonna lie, laughed. Oh, and I said that about his face. He can't get any worse. You know, and then Santiago said, like Fred said, I never understood how does that work? The one who prayed the best wins?
Come on, man. I mean, you know.
Adam Woods, I always wonder why two fighters fighting for each other pray that God protects them and one gets flatlined. Did God spite that motherfucker?
Or how does he justify it when he loses? Does he get up and the next time he's praying, is he like, I see you, God. You left me in the cold that last fight. It's all good, baby girl. It's all good. I'm gonna stick with you and shit. Like a scorned wife that don't need it. Well, I tell you what, God, you let me down one time. I'm gonna be a devil worshiping motherfucker. I'll be at the church of Satan tomorrow. Like, fuck that. He let me down big time. Satan, what you selling? I got two goats in the back. I'm about to fuck up for you.
It's like the kids these days. It's like, oh man, that was fake. That dude's fake. Well, check that out. All right, moving on. Adrian is losing, kind of suck, but what are you gonna do? Kevin Holland gets the knockout victory in the third round. He called that. What's up?
I want to talk about that for just a minute here. What do we attribute that performance in that fight to Kevin Holland being better than we've all sort of thought or expected, or to Ponzinibbio not really being the same since he's came back?
I go second.
I thought fucking Ponzinibbio, he's not really looked right
after he blew his knee out.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, again, I don't want to take nothing away from Kevin Holland, but I was sort of wondering, like, man, is Kevin Holland that good, or is Ponzinibbio just fucking not? Ponzinibbio, is he just not what he was before that injury? What the fuck?
Right, I'm trying to find the exact.
Because he was a fucking animal, man, for a while. Like, sort of like, whoa, might be who'd he fuck up, man? Was it Mike Perry or somebody, man?
I think so.
Santiago fucked up a couple guys there where I was like, okay, shit.
He did some crazy shit where it was just like, I was like, man, this guy's gonna skyrocket to a title shot.
A few wins in a row, man. A couple stoppage wins that were really impressive. And then he got like hurt and he was gone for a long time. And I feel like he just hasn't looked the same since, man.
Yeah, I mean, he injured his knee, but he also had like an infection in his blood, had two different kinds of bacteria. He had a staph infection. Yeah, he had a bunch of crazy shit in that leg. So it's like, you know, but he's not the same. He's just not the same. I think it was Anibio was getting a bit old and damaged. Legion Leon did him dirty. Yeah. Santiago destroyed Gunner and Magny. Right.
And then the Magny win's a big deal, man.
That's a huge win.
Ended up being in hindsight. But yeah, the Magny fucking win aged well. Like, destroying Magny means something.
I gotta say, I think it's more Santiago not being the same guy, and Kevin Holland just being good enough. Because you put Kevin Holland against Gilbert Burns,
right? Do we think he's able?
Good luck, good luck, Kev. I like Kevin a lot, but he ain't doing shit.
He comes out on that one. Yeah, I agree.
I agree. All right. But that was a big win for him for sure.
No doubt.
Yeah, called out Masvidal. Doesn't get it. Unfortunately, Masvidal also lost Gilbert Burns' decision, and it's in the post event press conference, Dana White already said that Gilbert Burns will be the backup fighter for Covington, Leon Edwards. So there you go for that. And then Jorge Masvidal retires. So Masvidal retires, and all good and everything. And then he used his post fight speech. It was going great. And I'm not shitting on the guy at all. You can choose whatever you want to say in your post fight interview, your retirement, whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. And I'm not knocking him for what he said at all. But I thought it was interesting that he used his post-fight, his post-retirement like speech to pump up 45. I just thought, I was like, cool, do your thing. But the first thing I did,
I didn't pay attention.
Okay. So in the post-fight, he said this whole, I'm from Miami, yada yada. This is great. I'm retiring, whatever. And then he goes, but I want to stay over here. He points over to Donald Trump, who's sitting cage-side for the main card. He said, that's the greatest president that ever happened. And then he tried to start a Let's Go Brandon chant, which I think, first of all, this, I have to get this out. I've bullied my friends into not saying that shit. Not because they shouldn't be able to say that they don't like the current president, but because I think to me, that's some pansy ass shit to not just say what you're trying to say. It's like, let's go, Brandon. Wink, wink, guys. We're supposed to be the tough. Like y'all supposed to be like the tough team, all that shit, and we don't care about your feelings, all that stuff. But you need a secret phrase to say what you really want to say. I just think it's the most pansy ass fucking phrase ever. And in Arizona, all over the place, you got those stickers in the back of trucks, and I'm just like, bro, just say what you want to say. This is America, freedom of speech. Say your shit. Don't hide it behind it. It's like, let's go, Brandon. Like, no. Do I disagree with what they're saying? No, I do not care. I don't care. I'm not a fan of any government entity whatsoever. Not the teams, not the idiots in office, not the way. I think they all fucking crooks and trash. However, I will clown you if you say that shit. And I clown all my. I've legitimately bullied all my friends and they're not saying that shit anymore. I'm like, what are you, a pansy? Really? Really? Are you afraid of someone hearing you say F Joe Biden? Like, all right, fuck out of here, dumbass. So anyway, I'll get that out of my chest. But anyway, try to start the Let's Go Brandon stuff. It kind of didn't. But I just thought that was funny. You used it for that. But again, his post-fight speech or interview, his post-retirement speech, do your thing, Jorge. But as far as Masvidal goes, is it weird? And everyone forgets that he was kind of, what do they say, mid? He was mid for such a long time. Had that 5-second knockout of Ben Askren and became a multimillionaire off of that. Overall, how do you see Masvidal's career?
I'm trying to think before I speak because I don't want to be rude.
Yeah.
But I think what I want to say is that he was a extremely popular, very successful financially journeyman.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a journeyman. He was a journeyman. He was a very tough journeyman. Took on all competitors, fought at different weight classes, even fought for the belt once or twice. Was it twice?
Usman?
Both Usman fights were for the belt, right?
I believe so.
So fought for the belt twice. But never won the belt, never broke. Right. I mean, I guess you could say he was a title challenger at best, but I think I think he was a very popular journeyman. He was extremely exciting to watch fight. He was always charismatic, but definitely towards the end of his career, really found a way to become one of the most popular fighters in the sport.
Yeah.
Successful career overall. I mean, he famously started fighting on the streets in Miami, ended his career there. A bit storybook-esque, to be completely fair.
Yeah, no, it was honestly great. And if you look at his rec, he fought a lot of guys that a lot of other people would turn down. I mean, he started off in the UFC in 2013. Before that, Strike Force started that off. And like this dude fought. He fought from 2003, professional MMA, not just backyard fights. Professional MMA fighter since 2003. Okay, we're talking 20-year career, which is nuts. But fought everybody. We fought Michael Chiesa, Tim Means, Jesse Wilcox, Paul Daly, Luis Palomino back in G-Force. Jesus, he fought Luis Palomino. Cesar Ferreira, Benson Henderson, Lawrence Larkin, Ross Pearson, Jake Ellenberger. I forgot all about Jake. He fought Cowboy and knocked him out. Damian Maya, Stephen Thompson, Darren Till, Ben Askren, Nate Diaz, 2 times Kamaru, Colby Compton, and Gilbert Burns. He's got like a star-studded resume if you don't look at the result of some of those fights. So but he fought with a lot of heart, dude. And the guy had a great character. And but he played it up once he became Street Jesus. It blew up for him, and he was super smart. And he's gonna be just fine. I do not see him being one of those fighters that goes super broke and comes back because he needs money, because he's got a lot of businesses going. So good for him, including Game Bread Boxing. So good for that dude. A lot of people were shit talking him before, like he sucks. Gilbert Burns gonna beat him, and I'm like, yeah, Gilbert's probably gonna win. But I'm a fan of Jorge Masvidal, just like I'm a fan of Nate. Everyone can say whatever they want about any of those guys. Like if they're fighting, you're fucking watching, no matter what.
Well, and I wanted to say this too before we get off this fight. Yeah, I didn't think Gilbert looked all that great in the fight, to be honest.
He looked apprehensive to me a little bit.
I thought once Gilbert, and I'm not saying that I think that Jorge has bad grappling or bad defensive grappling. Quite the opposite, to be fair. I think he has good grappling. I think he has really good grappling.
Yeah.
But in Gilbert Burns, we're talking about one of the fucking best grapplers on earth. This dude is a really, really high level grappler. I thought that if Gilbert got him on the ground for any prolonged period of time, that he would submit Jorge relatively easily, and he really didn't do fuck all when they were on the ground, to be completely honest. Like, he never really even had him in that bad of trouble. I don't know, man. He looked good on the feet, to be fair. He was outboxing Jorge for portions of the fight, landing some really good shots, but then, you know, being the grappler at heart that he is and the not natural striker, he goes for the takedown when he really doesn't need it, and then gets Jorge on the ground and don't do fuck all with it. Like, I'm okay with him being the backup or whatever, but like, I thought he was going to look a lot more impressive. I thought for sure he would beat Jorge, and I thought it would look a lot more like his win over Neil Magny did.
Right. Yeah, probably going through some commentary. Burns went to the wrestling 100%. Masvidal fought for a long time. 2018 was the year of Masvidal. Shit, the BMF fight, title fight, short notice, and then another fight, and it was pretty good. I say late resurgence of his career. I'm with you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Twice. It's kind of a legend from fighting in backyards to the full attention of the fighting community. It's movie material. 100% now. If they make that movie, it's gonna be ass. But someone needs to make the documentary. A documentary would be fucking dope.
A good documentary would be really, really good.
Yeah. Adam says, did you see the picture of Dana, Mike Tyson, Kid Rock, and Trump? Yeah. All of them have worked or are working for Vince McMahon at one point in their respective career. Yeah, I mean, it's when the world's coming together like that. Not to mention those guys would have been there no matter what, but now it's a little more relevant with the WWE thing. We'll talk about that here in a minute. People got mad at me because I tweeted out raggedy ass Kid Rock, not because I give a shit about his political views. I could give a fuck. I don't know what they are. However, if you're gonna sit there and be like Kid Rock is a fucking legend, eat a fat dick. He had like a couple decent songs for us back in fucking high school. And since then, he's been a fucking just little raggedy ass fucking dipshit. Like, he's been trash.
So, yeah, I guess he's a legend in certain circles. I don't know if I would throw the word legend around with Kid Rock, but
no, he's a little raggedy ass fuck. I don't give a shit. People get mad at me. People got mad at me. I could give a fuck. And again, it's not about his views. It's about Kid fucking Rock being trash.
I'm not a fan of Kid Rock sonically, but I think that getting up, first off, bro, I'd be like not even paying attention to a lot of this shit. Like, I didn't even know exactly what was going on with Bud Light, and
I was him shooting it up, and I still don't understand why.
I still don't know exactly. I guess from what I understand, Bud Light did a sponsorship with a transgender person.
And Kid Rock got mad.
That I think that, and then that's what got him all fired up. Like, I ain't drinking Bud Light anymore. But boy. Bro. I think that's just about the fucking stupidest fucking thing. I mean, it's fucking already horse piss cheap beer. Like, it's
terrible
Bud
beer.
Light. Like, you're gonna get on your high horse because their company that Anheuser-Busch, that's fucking $1 billion company. Like, they did what sort of fucking idiot gives a fuck, man? I mean, who gives a shit if they do an endorsement? I wouldn't drink that shit anyways, but if I did, doing an endorsement, if they did an endorsement with Trump, I wouldn't,
I wouldn't care.
God damn, bro. Short of them endorsing fucking Vladimir Putin or that prick from North Korea, I don't give a fuck if I fuck with your product, I'm going to still fuck with your product, especially if it's something that gets me fucked up and gives me a buzz and fits into my price range. I don't give a fuck. Matter of fact, I take the Putin thing back. Sponsor him. I don't give a shit. I'll still drink your fucking beer. Who gives a fuck? I don't, what I mean? Like, you're not, I'm not making or breaking your company buying my 12 pack. Like, and here's a newsflash, Kid Rock. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck if you or any of your fans ever drink a Bud Light again. They'll still sell millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of beer. So nobody gives a fuck.
No one cares. Look, man, I don't pay attention to what companies endorse who, and I do not care. I wasn't drinking Bud Light before, though, and I'm not going to drink it now, but, do your thing. I just thought it was fucking silly that he shot up a can. All I saw was him shooting up a thing of beer, and I I asked why he did it, and everyone was just like, literally, no one knew what the fuck was going on. Like, I just learned that from you. I had no idea that Bud Light did that.
I think it's because Bud Light endorsed or Bush or whatever the fuck the parent company endorsed
Anheuser-Busch.
Transgender person. Yeah, which again is like, what fucking sort of moron would be like, oh, I'm not drinking Bud Light anymore. I don't fucking care. I guess there's tons of videos of people on fucking TikTok or YouTube or wherever fucking morons put videos about shit like that. Same sort of dicks that were out there burning their Yeezys. What the fuck? Like, you fucking idiots. Nobody gives a shit now. Even the fucking Jews don't care no more. Kanye will be right back on your TV soon enough, and your little stupid ass grandson will be asking for fucking $600 Yeezys because nobody really. You know the funny thing about this fucking life, this world we live in, where everybody acts like they care so much. Nobody really gives a fuck.
No one actually gives a shit.
Nobody really gives a fuck. There's a small group of people who actually care about the fucking gays or Black Lives Matter or Asians or fucking trans. Like, there's a small group of people that really got a dog in that fight. Everybody else, you're a fucking asshole. You're a fucking shit rat that just wants to come out. You know, the fucking people that the moment there's a fucking shooting in Uruguay, their fucking profile picture is the Uruguay flag. Shut the fuck up. Take that thing down. You never gave a fuck about France before that shooting. I hate fucking twats like that. They want to care about everything. Shut the pick a fucking cause that you actually care about and go fucking care about it and shut the fuck up.
That's what everyone talks about. It's like, what do they call it? Virtue signaling or whatever.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah, everybody. That's what most people are these days. They don't actually care. They just want everybody to think that they care.
Yeah. By the way, at the top of that list of people that do not give a fuck about issues, it's the politicians that are spewing the shit about the issues. Okay, if you think for a second those politicians give a fuck about you or me, you're out your goddamn mind. All right,
bro. Human beings are actually pretty simple. We're extremely complex, but we're still. What do you care about? Joe Blow, average dickhead. If you're being brutally honest, what do you care about? You care about getting your little prick wet. You care about eating good food. You care about getting a buzz in some way, shape, or form, whether it's booze or this or that, or you're one of these creeps that works out all the time and thrives on not getting a buzz. You got about 5-6 things that all of us as human beings enjoy. Those pricks are just like us. They're trying to get their little pricks wet. They're trying to eat good food, drink good booze, do good drugs, work and make, you know what I mean? Like, they're not fucking lizard creatures. They're just shit rat human beings that want what we want. Everybody wants the same fucking thing at the end of the day for the most part.
Right. No, I'm with you on that. All right, go through the comments real quick, and then we'll jump off this because we went from a fight to playing with the political.
Fucking leaning into politics, baby. We're leaning into
heavy leaning. Let me see. Oh, fucking Tank. Tank comes in, MAGA baby, and then he goes, Eddie, slow your roll. I love this podcast. Kid Rock is a legend. I'm a cowboy, baby. Tank is out there shooting up cans too. No,
he might have a slight point with the legend thing. I don't think he's a legend in our households, but overall, he might. I mean, I think again, let's not get off the fucking. It depends on your fucking what your definition of the word is. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Fucking Bill Clinton, that's the
best line ever, bro. We need
so
that
great.
for a drop, bro. We need
for
that
real
for a drop. Like, that's the best line ever. Real. As much shit people talk about Trump, Bill Clinton was a wild boy. Bill Clinton came right out in front of y'all and said, "It depends on what your definition is." That's almost better than alternative facts.
That's when you knew it was 100% on point. A fact that he got blown by a chick. By that chick, I was like, oh, you did do that shit then. I was little when he said that, and I was like, oh, I know what the fuck he's saying.
Say Bill was a freak too. He stuck a motherfucking blunt in her pussy, and he nutted on that whole dress.
Bro, I did not know. I'm surprised he's not at the fights. Honestly, he's one of the guys. Should be there.
Bill should be Bill. Boy, Bill need to stop being such a pussy out there letting Hillary run his shit. Bill should have been right there with those heathens.
He belongs there. I can't take serious. Dago says I can't take seriously someone whose nickname still Ken in their 50s. It's brand. It's a branding thing, but I hear you.
Yeah, I get that a little bit. It's like, just fucking, you just rock. You know what I mean?
Adam says Jorge was on Rogan and said he would know it when he would know it was time to retire when he couldn't hang in American Top Team. He retired with no fanfare. Then he loses to Burns and retires in Miami with all the fanfare. Masvidal was a hypocrite. There you go. Nobody really wants to go out quietly unless your name's Tim Duncan. And if you don't know who Tim Duncan is, exactly why he did it the way he did it.
Quiet goat.
The whole point is he went out quiet. Fight Tank goes, cigar in the pink.
That's a player. That's a player, though, Jack. I don't even know why you would do that. To be fair, I guess to smoke the cigar afterwards.
I don't know.
Hey, actually,
That's a power thing, bro.
It'd be a little musky, but that's a
power
bad
thing.
move. Where my bitch
thing.
at? That hoe getting a blunt shoved up in her next time I see her. Say, Jack, if it's good enough for Bill, it's good enough for me. I ain't never smoked a pussy soaked blunt before. That might give you a good buzz. Shit, Bill might have been on to something.
That's a clip. We're gonna start a new podcast on how to do this.
I need to smoke one of those to see what that smells like, so I can see what people doing that in public. Boy, that's how you know you're a real player. You say, Jack, I'm gonna have a blunt. You say, man, that's one of them pussy soaked blunts. That's a bad boy.
You guys, they're gonna start selling that shit on the corner now. Watch. All right, moving on. Main event: Israel Adesanya knocks out, because this goes to Otis' the question here in the conversation. I'll get there right in a second, bro. But Izzy knocks out Alex Pereira, gets his belt back. I think the funniest part, look, the knockout was savage. It was great. It was fucking dope. But I fucking fell over laughing when Izzy goes to the side of the cage, points at somebody, and then falls over. When I saw him fall over like a dead body, I knew exactly who he was talking to. Pereira's kids, I think he's got 2 sons, I think, or 2, 3 kids, I don't know. But they were like Cageside. One of them, back when they kickboxed in I think it was in Brazil, and Alex knocked Izzy out, did that shit. I don't know if you've seen the video of him. The kid walks into the ring and falls over like a dead body.
Oh shit.
And it was fucking hell. And so after the fight, Izzy did that to the side of the octagon and the kid, and I was just like, damn, bro.
That's hilarious. I didn't know. I seen him do that, but I didn't know what that was for. I didn't know the backstory behind it.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fucking. I saw that shit and I was like, as soon as I saw that shit, I was just like, I know exactly who he's pointing at. It's fucked up. Ooh. Oh, sorry. We'll get there in a second, Tank. Sorry. What's next for Adesanya? Shit, Robert Whittaker? Kevin Gastelum? I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know, man. You'd have to pull up the fucking list. I'm fucked in the head. I don't know.
I'm looking for it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. No, I hate both of those ideas.
Yeah.
I don't. Sorry, Robert. I just don't like. It's enough with you. Sorry. And I don't like the idea of an immediate rematch, a trilogy fight with them. I like it, but not now.
Yeah, not yet. So hey, you're not gonna like this list because okay. They haven't updated it yet, so Alex Pereira is still the champion on the website, but it's not. It's Izzy. And Alex is probably number 1 contender for now. So you got Pereira, Robert Whittaker, Marvin Vettori, Jared Cannonier, Paulo Costa, Dricus Du Plessis.
Yo.
What?
Pull up 205.
205. Okay.
Pull up 205. So listen, I think maybe also like let's normalize moving up a weight division without taking on the champion. I think Izzy could have a really fun fight at 205. Listen, let's be clear about why I'm cutting you off right there. There's nobody at 85.
No, there's nobody.
There are not right now. I don't give a fuck who Robert Whittaker beats. Right now, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to see that fight. Yep. I don't want to see a third one with Poatan. I think that's very interesting, but again, it's like fight 5 at this point if you're including kickboxing. I think there's room for that fight, but not right now. It needs to marinate and build a little bit. Poatan needs to win a couple. Izzy needs to keep the streak going. I think the best fight for Izzy right now is a fun fight at 205 against a striker. But that's why I was asking you to bring up 205. Top 5 guy, top 7 guy that is going to kickbox with Izzy and give us a fun fight that Izzy might be able to win. And then maybe we can discuss him staying at 205 or getting a title shot or moving back down to 85 or, you know what I mean? Like, bro, Anderson Silva, y'all might be funny with Anderson now, but if you was outside about 10, 12 years ago watching Anderson fight, the motherfucker was bad, Jack. Anderson was a feared man. And when he fucking cleared out everybody at 85, I'm talking about the goddamn likes of TRT, Vitor, and Dan fucking Henderson. Legend, animals. When Anderson cleared all them out, he went up to 205 and fought James Sandman Irvin. And then after that, he fought Forrest Griffin, who was, 1 fight removed from being the champion, but still not the actual champion. There was Time was moving up and doing this champ shit just wasn't heard of. Moving up a division at all was a big fucking deal.
Massive.
So go ahead.
Yeah. No, my bad, dude.
What do we got? Top five. What are the top five? 205 so fucked right now. Anyways, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Jamal Hill's the champion, I guess, and fucking Pekriak's fucked in the woods or whatever. So what do you like? I think we can come up with something quite good for Izzy at 205.
Jamal Hill's champion. Yuri's number one contender. Magomed Ankalaev. Number 3 is Jan Blachowicz, who actually tweeted out literally seconds after the fight was over and said, yeah, how about we fight for the belt at 185 pounds?
Even though Jan won that fight, it was boring and wasn't fun. One thing about Pineda, at least Pineda knocked fucking Izzy out.
Right.
All due respect, you won the fight, but you used your size and it was fucking kind of boring. I want to see Izzy fight, quite frankly. It fucking sucks, but listen, ooh. I don't think he deserves a title shot.
No.
But quiet as it's kept, I think Jamal Hill gets worked. I like Jamal Hill. But I think if they let Izzy fight Jamal Hill tomorrow, I think Izzy fucks Jamal Hill up, and I just think it's a clash of styles. So Jamal Hill wouldn't have that wrestling and that grappling to fall back on like Jan did. It sucks that Jamal Hill's the champion because I don't want to see Izzy get the belt. And again, if he won a big fight at 205, then maybe I just don't want to see him get ushered into it and shit. But I think that's the kind of guy that I would like to see him fight at 205 stylistically, just because. Give Izzy somebody who's going to stand and bang with him. Let them knock him the fuck out, send him back to 85 with a sore jaw, or let him shine. You know what I mean? Don't put him in there with a goddamn Ankalaev. Fuck that prick. We all know what he'll do, for fuck's sakes.
Yep. So here's the thing. So, actually, let me get to the conversation. There's a bunch. Sorry, guys. I got to catch up. Fucking Woods. Adam says, Masvidal has a second career working at Turning Point USA, Fox News, and QAnon serving as a motivational speaker.
He ain't lying, goddammit. He ain't lying.
Yeah, well, fuck. Santiago says, Izzy said that Pereira should go to 205 and cause some trouble there. To me, that implies that he's going to stay at 185. He probably is. I just don't know who against. He's going to be just going back and do a bunch of rematches. If Pereira moves up, I think Pereira puts it on old Jamal Hill, but we'll see. Do you think that Viacom will get tired of owning Bellator potentially into TKO? We'll talk about that in a second, actually, because we're talking about WWE and UFC. Silva went to 205 on 40 different occasions. There you go. He could fight Dricus in South Africa, Nigeria. Dricus would get so fucked up because Dricus is the most overrated 185er on the roster. I'll say it twice.
Well, and the problem with that fight is, excuse me, Dricus has nowhere near the fanfare that he needs to fight. Izzy's a fucking sort of a living legend at this point, man. Like, you need a Robert Whittaker to fight him. The problem is he's already fought those dudes 2-3 times.
Right.
You just can't. It's hard to sell a Whittaker fight, man, or a Vettori fight, or any of those guys at 85 right now, man. I just think at 205, because I want to see Izzy get challenged too, man. I don't want to see him get laid on, but I'd like to see him in a fight that is exciting.
Right. At this point, if there's not gonna be a real challenger at 185, put him in some fun fights. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's nothing really on the line either, so he doesn't have to fight. It's just a fun fight, man. A big guy at 205 that could make him nervous or scare him a little or something, something that he can fucking get pumped about, that we can all get pumped about, an exciting fight.
It says Silva and Bears, Forrest Griffin, James Irvin, and Stephen Bonner.
Right, exactly. So, you know what I'm saying? Those type characters for Izzy at 205 now, they were high-ranked guys, but they weren't fucking champions, for fuck's sakes.
Right. No, you're right. Zane, hey, what's up, Zane? I'm gonna go with Bando. I don't know how to say first name. Tell me how it is. Like I've been talking to Zane on Twitter forever, dude. We'll be doing some shit hopefully. Izzy would smoke Hill in under 15 minutes. You're not wrong. The selling is that they're both from Africa. That's probably what Dana White's probably the happiest about. Is he has that's available now again.
Well, yeah, Izzy from Africa. Izzy's
it wasn't gonna be Dricus. You're not gonna headline a fucking Africa with Dricus Duplessis.
Well, no shit, right? But wait, I think that does work, but Dricus needs a couple more big wins. He's just not, for me. He's way too soon. Not even to say that he wouldn't win the fight. I'm just talking about even just solely on promotional purposes. It's just too soon. Your average Joe Blow dickhead fan is going to be like, "Who the fuck is Dricus Duplessis?"
Zan. All right, Zan, I got you, bro. Zan, like Van. Got you. All right. Zan banned. All right, got you, Zan. Let's see. Pereira has no wrestling. He'd be a gun at 205. That's not the point. The point is it'd be better than him staying at 85, in my opinion. Unless Izzy the one that moves up and Pereira stays down. Okay, but
listen,
come on.
To be fair, we've never really seen him. I tend to agree with that, but we don't know. Maybe his wrestling's okay. I doubt it. I doubt it. I dig what you're saying, Otis. You're more likely right, but we need to put him in there with the wrestler to find out.
There you go. All right. Shit. Let's go ahead and talk about what fucking happened a minute ago. There it is. WWE, man. Endeavor agrees to purchase WWE for $9.3 billion. Now, I'm not 100% sure now if that's what the amount was, but that's what the worth of WWE is now. And I think UFC's 12 point something million. So just to make it clear, WWE and UFC are not merging into one company. They are going to be under a newly formed company, supposedly called TKO or some shit like that, which again, cringy and fucking lame as shit, but it is what it is. We don't call the fucking shots on that one. So moving up here, let me go back all the way up to I think it was Adam that asked it. Shit. Adam, you got to remind me, bro. I'm scrolling up here and I'm losing it here with WWE. So, but WWE, first of all, when you heard about that, what'd you think?
Nothing really. Again, I don't think this. As a UFC/MMA fan, I don't think it's going to change a whole lot for us. I don't think we're going to see fucking WWE fighters moonlighting as UFC fighters, or even vice versa necessarily. I think whoever you would have seen going to the WWE before this merger will just be doing it afterwards. It might be a little smoother now, maybe, but little things like the pay-per-views not going against each other. They're massive events. I doubt you'll see that, but for the most part, as a consumer of MMA and the UFC's product, for me, being also just a general, I don't give a fuck type character. I don't see where it's going to matter much.
It won't change anything.
Yeah, really. Yeah, exactly. I mean, fucking cool beans for Endeavor, I guess. That's a cool little toy for them to have. And I think it's more on the WWE fan. I think the WWE fan is going to get a slightly different product moving forward because their company is getting purchased by our daddy, so to speak. Like that, they might catch a little overhaul, but like as UFC fans, I don't think we got nothing to worry about. I think our shit gonna stay the same. And to be fair, I don't think they'll change the just what they did when Endeavor bought the UFC.
Yeah,
I feel like that's exactly what they're gonna do with the WWE.
Yeah.
They'll change a couple things. They'll use that Ari Emanuel prick's fucking insane connections to probably get the W. You'll look up and the WWE will be on Sports Center or Fox or it'll be back on mainstream TV and shit like that. But in general, as an MMA fan, I don't think it really it's not going to change our experience with MMA or the UFC. So.
Yeah, I don't think it'll change a lot, but anyway, I couldn't find the original question. And Zan says that's 21.4 billion combined. Right, that's what that company is going to be worth. That's what they're saying. What says? Do you think that Viacom will get tired of owning Bellator and potentially selling the TKO, the proposed NYSC ticker symbol for WWE UFC venture? So what he's talking about is will Bellator be sold to the UFC basically or to TKO? Because if they do, UFC. It's kind of better off just like picking the guys they want and then see you guys.
Well, that's the thing. I think that I'll say no, but not because of Bellator. I think that Endeavor isn't interested in Bellator. Bro, the UFC could have maybe bought Bellator. You have to keep in mind, bro, when the UFC bought Strikeforce and when the UFC was doing all those power moves, they were just the UFC. What people don't understand is when the UFC sold to fucking Endeavor, they became all that they was before with now this other backing power of all these other money and lawyers and connections. And so they just became this bigger fucking, you know what I'm saying? So like, they're just about to do it again. Now they're just going to have even more on deck, more everything. So I forget what my fucking point was. What was the fucking question again? Oh, yeah. I don't think they want Bellator. I think they'll let Bellator drown and sell off to, like, I don't think Bellator is big enough for them to give a fuck about. Like, who does Bellator really have? What do they got? 3 fighters the UFC might want?
So here's what be my I guess response to that. It's not that they give a fuck about Bellator, it's that they need Bellator to be out there. They need it to be out there. You can't, like, we can say all we want to about one championship, PFL as organizations. As far as the US goes, Bellator's still number 2. And we could debate that all fucking day, but it's true, right? So the UFC needs Bellator to be out there so people don't, keep pounding on the whole monopoly joint they've been saying for years now on that shit. So they need it. They need it out there, in my opinion.
Well, I don't know, man. I think if to push back on that just a little bit.
Yeah.
Look, if they were going to be a monopoly, they'd be a monopoly.
Yeah.
With or without Bellator. For, like, they're not stopping anybody from starting an MMA organization. Again, we talked about this before. We're not lawyers, but at the end of the day, to be a monopoly, I think you have to put it to where motherfuckers can't compete with you. Not because you're so good, but because, like, you put barriers in line. It'd be like McDonald's making it to where Burger King could not open up a shop on this block or this city. The UFC doesn't care what you do. They're just really good at doing this. I don't think that you being very, very, very good at something. The NFL's not a monopoly. Vince McMahon started the XFL. Well, but it's not, though. That's my point.
Right.
That's precisely my point. It's not. You can start, like, the NFL just sits back like, say, Jack, we do this little thing called football. Any of you billionaires that want to be competition for us are more than welcome to try.
Bring it on,
and Vince McMahon's so fucked in the head one time, he said, I'll do it. God damn it. We'll start something called the XFL. We'll let these fuckers tackle each other and we'll let them jump off the backboard and we'll run it when the NFL's not in season. And was it successful? Of course not. It was a fucking joke. Cost Vinnie Mac probably 50, 100 million and he fucking shut that shit down fast as it fucking came. But the important part of that equation, I think, is that they could do it. So long as you've got the money, you can fucking start an MMA organization and compete with the UFC. I don't think you can punish the UFC because they're so good at their shit that nobody wants to compete with them. No, so I don't really know, but I think that's what keeps them out of that monopoly conversation regardless. So but to your point, I wonder, I think a better question, which we don't really have time to answer right now, is Bellator existing good or bad for the UFC? Would it be good for the UFC to just gobble them up and take what little talent they want and then scatter the rest of those pricks to Dagestan or wherever the fuck? Or would it be better to just let them linger? And when somebody gets too big for their britches, the UFC comes over and snags them up like they did Michael Chandler, like they'll do MVP or anybody that, because what do? Eventually you outgrow Bellator or you don't and you head the other way. But if you become a champion and you're knocking guys out and you build a big enough name for yourself, you fight out your contract and then you fuck off to the UFC. I mean, everybody does it. There's no other. What else would you do? You can't stay in Bellator fighting those guys or girls and then everybody in the fucking game is like, oh, well, you're good, but it's only because you're not fighting John Jones or. So I don't know. I don't know whether it's good or bad for them to exist. I do know that it's not a flea on the ass of Endeavor, though. I mean, that's the bottom line. Is that there is no competition for those cats in the combat sports realm. I tell you what I find interesting. Dana White at the post-fight presser was asked about boxing again, and he got real fucking quiet and real fucking cute. And one thing I do know about this Ari Emanuel prick and Dana White and Vince McMahon, these motherfuckers got big balls and big bank accounts, and they are out there trying to change shit. So don't be surprised by the end of this year if you don't see Endeavor make some sort of weird, massive move into boxing. I think that they are trying to completely take over the combat sports world. And the only thing left is boxing. If you get some sort of hold on boxing, whether that's, Tyson Fury and Gervonta Davis, or if, how many massive stars are there in boxing, right? There's a lot.
Handful.
What, 15?
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Ryan, you could go through the divisions of Earl Spence. You could pull out the guys who are really, even what is there, like 2 or 3 broads that really move that needle. How much did y'all say this company with this new $20 billion?
Oh, yeah.
How much money does it take to get these fuckers under contract to buy? I would not be surprised if this whole Zuffa boxing, and it probably won't have that name anymore, but I would not be surprised if you don't see Ari Emanuel, Vince McMahon, and Dana White make some sort of, or all these pricks you got right here.
Some sort of
these
move.
Fuckers, make some sort of move into boxing that completely. This whole WWE thing was big, but I think there's something else on the horizon as far as boxing is concerned that will literally let them corner the market on combat sports.
I would love to see that, honestly, just to piss off the boxing, just to piss off the boxing, whatever you want to call them, the usuals. All right.
Here's the thing, too, right? Quickly,
yeah.
I know we got to go, and I'm fucking rambling. But here's the thing about the boxing thing, right? Money talks and bullshit walks.
Yep.
They've got a lot of money right now.
A lot of it.
Next weekend, this Saturday fucking night, the next Saturday that we fucking see, Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia are fighting. You gonna watch that, ain't you, Eddie?
Hell yeah. I'm gonna be at the event, but I promise you I'm gonna have my phone on right next to me.
We're gonna be watching that fucking fight, man. That is going to be an important. So when boxing can get these fucking right guys in the ring, again, money talks and bullshit walks. I think these Endeavor pricks are going to figure out a way to throw a fuck ton of money at the right guys and get these fuckers on board. Because it's the thing, right? It's going to take a lot of money to get these fuckers to actually fight each other.
Yeah.
But if boxing was ran like the UFC, and Tyson Fury could not deny Usyk, he had to take that fight. Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford had to fight each other. There was no, fuck all the mandatory bullshit. Y'all are going to fight. You could line up 5-10 fights that would make $2 billion in boxing.
Sure.
You just got to have some management, some people over there thinking boxing runs itself. It needs a little structure where you say, check this out, Tyson. You're going to have to fight Usyk. No, you're not boxing Francis Ngannou. You're not boxing some fucking prick that you've already fought 2 times back in fucking 1998. No. You're fighting Usyk as soon as he's fucking healthy, and that's just the fucking long and short of it.
There you go. That's the thing. That's the one thing I don't like about boxing, though, is that they got these contracts. Now, Usyk and Fury has to happen, but Usyk turned that shit down, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
because Fury went after him, called him a bunch of fucking names on Twitter. I'm like, God damn, dude! Like,
it just keeps not getting made. That's my point, and I think that fuckers know that the money is there, though. If you put the right names in the ring, you can generate millions. And like boxing is still a very much viable sport. It just needs somebody like these pricks to come in and run it properly. And I would not be surprised if you see that in the future. Because again, if you get the right people to put enough money together to make these boxing matches happen, you would see a resurgence with boxing unlike anything any of these young kids have ever seen, bro. Because the names are there. They're just playing these stupid fucking games and not giving us the fights they want. Every once in a while they do. And we get a Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. And guess what? It's fucking huge. It's massive. It's a big deal, a big moneymaker. So
you would think they'd be trying to put together some of the biggest fights that people were actually like let's bring it back. I don't know. Everyone's just afraid of losing. Anyway, all right. So we're way out of time, folks. So we're gonna fly through the rest of this shit. Ace goes Izzy versus Alex best of 7. I don't know about that
shit, right?
Quick again, I'm gonna fly through your stuff, Adam, because he sent me this on DMs. This is gonna be the management team for the entire thing. I'm not gonna go through explain too much of it, but I'm gonna fly through your stuff, Adam. UFC and WWE are going to be one company, possibly named TKO, under the Endeavor corporate assets, identity the corporate structure, as shown here. Eddie Torres Vince is higher on the totem pole in the new company than Dana White is. Dana was never more than a minority owner in Zuffa, UFC former parent company. Okay.
Right.
Vince sold all of his personal shares of WWE, which is 51% to Endeavor, which gives him the control of the whole thing. That 51% of Vince shares sold to Endeavor ensures Vince having a bigger role with the new company. I read that he negotiated like a 2-year employment deal. I don't know. Vince set himself up. He's a smart motherfucker. I referenced TKO above because that is the name of the company we'll trade under on the New York Stock Exchange. Right, you're right. Nathego says, here in Uruguay, when I was a kid in the 80s, WWF was on TV. I used to love it. Fun times. When I was a kid, WWF was a lot of fun too.
It was huge then. It's huge here too.
Nick Khan is Ariel Hawaii's former agent. That's how he got into WWE. That's what I'm curious about. Will Dana White try to force him? We won't talk about it right now, but will Dana White try to force Hawaii off of WWE too? That would be low-key kind of funny. Fucked, but funny. And at the end, I think Fred is on the money with Endeavor wanting to become a king in combat sports. Well, UFC running shows during lockdown literally kept Endeavor afloat. Excuse me, when Hollywood closed up shop. There you go. Mind you, with the Hollywood closing up shop, that was, to me, it was great because all movies went straight to streaming. And
when you think about all this shit in some sort of weird, strange, like Monopoly game,
sure,
you're almost getting like the railroads. You're getting these sort of, you're not buying the NFL, right. You're not getting the NBA, but you're getting the WWE, you're getting the UFC. God forbid, like I said, you just sign like 12 key boxers and you make Zuffa Boxing or whatever the fuck that gives you this, and then you sign some shit rap boxers from here and there, and you put together the most organized boxing organization in the last fucking 50 years or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
it becomes a real massive power move in the sporting world that you can actually afford without having $1 trillion. Like, you can't buy the MLB, for fuck's sakes. You might be able to buy a team. You can't buy the whole fucking league. You can actually buy the WWE. You could buy the UFC. And again, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with boxing, but I'm telling you, I got a sneaky suspicion that they're going to try to do something weird over there too.
If we hear about that shit, I'm totally coming back and clipping the fucking whole thing you were saying and putting that shit out. All right, folks. Real quick, this next week, UFC Kansas City. I will actually be in town. Multiple reasons for it, but obviously the biggest reason covering the UFC. Max Holloway, Arnold Allen in the main event. Edson Barbosa against Billy Q in the co-main. Dustin Jacoby, whatever the fuck. Tanner Bozer, Yon Katalaba. Yon's always fun to talk to because he's a fucking psycho. Pedro Munoz against Chris Gutierrez and Clay Guida against Rafa Garcia. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 guys, 12 guys. We have 15 people coming to fucking media day, bro, on Wednesday. So I'm gonna be busy as fuck. Honestly, overall, the card is pretty goddamn good for being a free card. I always say free because you got to pay for ESPN Plus. So, but either way, support us, CageSidePress.com. I will be there personally covering it. Oh yeah, the Rockbot XFL from Vince, right? XFL's back, and actually, it's not bad. It is not bad. I've been watching. It's not bad at all. There's one team that's like 0-6 or 0-7. It's embarrassing, but other than that, it's a fun little product. So anyway, I'll be there. We'll be bringing you everything. Fucking media day, fucking weigh-ins, all kinds of shit. I'm gonna be busy as fuck, sending out all kinds of stuff on Twitter. If you guys would do me a huge favor and retweet stuff off of Cageside Press and my Twitter account, we really appreciate it. Of course, I'll be all over Kansas City starting Tuesday. So there you go. All right, follow myself and Mr. Fred Kirby. Wow, Jam City Jesus on Twitter at Cageside Press for Cageside Press. I'm at Eli32. Kira made for the show. Shout out to everyone who tunes in. Love the hell out of every single one of you guys. Otis, we had a fucking fun ass show today. Otis, Effie, Lance was here earlier. Xana was here, still is here. Tank, of course, coming in, going at me with the stupid ass Kid Rock bullshit. Vince is rolling in money. Yes, he fucking is. Ace, Adam Woods, of course, and Thiago. Everyone, love the hell out of you guys. We'll see you guys again next week. I'll let you guys know when it's happening. Who fucking knows what's going on in Kansas City, but we'll see you guys next week. We love you guys. Good night. Good night, Wilshire.